What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. Sitting all the way across the city from me this week and every week, he's the king of all VR kings. He's the Sofa King himself. Thunder only happens when it's raining. It's Jeremy King.
Wow, does it? No, I've heard thunder with no rain, and it usually emanates from the tower that you sit atop while you broadcast across YouTube. Over there, it is Bryan. Oh, that was kind of a lackluster head potential.
It is what it is, but let's keep moving. And every week on Why We Love PlayStation VR, we dip into the PSVR archive, we pull out a game at random, we dust the wall off it, we play the crap out of it, we see if it's been given name, loved by developers, any updates, any DLC, and all of that's irrelevant. But this week for the Game Cats, what game are we going to talk about?
Dreams.
There we go. Dreams by Media Molecule, released February 14th, the loneliest day, 2020, for $39.99. Jeremy, what kind of game is Dreams?
Oh, God. It's like a creative pool. I mean, it's like a toolbox, and you go in and you play the shit, or you make some shit.
Dude, you can make your own PS4 games, which, first of all, is kind of incredible. Or PS5 games, I suppose, now. But even more impressively, you can make your own PlayStation VR games.
Yeah.
Dude, VR's still kind of new, man. It's only been out for 4 years, and we were all like, I can't believe VR's a thing and how good it works on PlayStation and blah, 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 blah. And little did we know, in just a few years, we'd be able to make our own games for it.
Right at home.
It's like
with
technology. Right? Technology's progressing really, really fast.
Yeah.
Now, just a heads up, Dreams has been updated a lot since it came out. You can now use the DualShock 4, Move, the aim controllers, Move controllers in the aim, and that's all.
You can use an aim controller with it, too?
Yeah, that's a very recent patch for the aim controller. So people are making like first-person shooters with the aim controller. Not every game obviously supports all of these because it depends on the creator. And what we're doing here today, we're playing on PlayStation 5, by the way, on OG PS4. A lot of this stuff looked really, really blurry. It looked better on the Pro, but we're playing on PlayStation 5 where it all looks pretty damn sharp by comparison.
I wouldn't know anymore, the downgrade. I can't even give the downgraded comparison anymore.
You wouldn't have been happy if you were playing on the OG, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
And today we're not really focusing on the creator tools at all. We're just going to talk about some of our favorite Dreams creations that we've played. And I'm excited to hear a lot of your thoughts, Jeremy, because I talk too much on this channel, right? I want to hear your thoughts on some of this stuff.
It's crazy because for the price point you're getting, I mean, I didn't even try the game itself, basically, which is the creation tool.
Right.
I just went and was doing like when Little Big Planet had all these little tools and people started making their own little thing, you more played that. So, I mean, just going through and playing all these other little creations, it's like, it's insane how much, crap. It's like a toy box because there's some crappy broken toys and then there's some pretty good toys that you can get some good play out of. Nice. I don't know if you want to mention a few specifically and go through them or how you want to go.
Yeah, no, I mean,
there's a lot.
You brought up a good point, right? Like if you buy Dreams, or if you're curious about Dreams and you're just going through and just trying random games, like, I mean, it's kind of like a cesspool of imagination, right?
There's a search engine in it, because you can dwindle down the games. There's that much.
And even the search engine isn't all that great, to be honest, unless I knew the name of the game I was looking for. And a lot of games still are not VR enabled. The creators have to go in and do that themselves. So there's so many amazing PS4 Dreams that were created for the flat screen that we're just like waiting for. Like, we want the creators to get, I think they need a PSVR headset to flip that switch because they need to kind of get in there and make sure everything's proper before they republish it. But man, once that happens, it's going to be amazing. Like, the fact that there's already so many PSVR games on here is incredible. Yes, a lot of them are terrible, but it's a lot of people's first things that they ever made in their entire life. And they were like, publish,
Some of them are so bad, they're like entertaining, Yeah. Like I was examining a bridge as a bird, and the bird definitely, for the flapping of the wing sound effects, had like porn in there. You know what I mean? Like to make some of the sounds. It was great, and it was just like this thing flopping around the camera. The bird flew like this, like the angle. It was awful, but it was also like somebody made this, somebody
Right.
sat in a living room and did this,
Dude,
you know.
I love when I'm playing a game and there's voiceovers in it, and then it's like some like 6-year-old kid or 7-year-old kid, and I was like, oh, are you the person who made this? Like,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
suddenly gives me perspective. I'm like, oh, good job.
I, I was doing an alien one, and all of a sudden the voice actor was like, "Go down the hall," and I'm like, "Is that the guy who made it? Great!" It was awesome.
Nice, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, so many different experiences, and I'll say right now, for if you're just buying Dreams to play a bunch of other people's games, and you have no desire whatsoever to ever make something of your own,
Mhm.
I still think that the entry price is worth it on this thing. It's kind of incredible to see. It's not even a full price game. It's $40, and actually,
Yeah.
currently, I think right now, if you're watching this during the first week we air this, it's on sale for half price. It's a $20 game right now,
Christ, God damn it!
right? And
I
so,
literally just bought it last week and it was full price.
well,
Yeah.
that's what happens. It's a without parole curse. Um,
Yeah.
but I think even if you never plan on making anything, it's still worth it just to have. And every month or two, check in and be like, I wonder what people have made. Why don't you kick it off, man? What's the first game you want to talk about?
Well, I'm going to go on a recommendation from you that
Ooh,
you had told me was Jungle Bill.
wow.
I think Jungle Bill, by far, I think out of all that I played, was my favorite. I thought it was great.
So Jungle Bill VR by NB Eiler or Nibiler. I never know how to pronounce these
Nibbler.
creators' names. Maybe it's Nibbler.
It was
I'm,
adorable. Everything, all the little, because you had the third person perspective of this adventuring guy, like a Laura Croft type of a dude, and or you could go in first person view, which was great. I mean, it was crazy, and visually, I could not believe this was done. I think out of everything I played visually, this was the best. I was blown away by it, all of it.
how much time did you spend with Jungle Bill?
I went back to it several times. I think just on that one, close to an hour, just on that title alone. And
Nice.
I only think I found 14 coins out of 26 coins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it's just, I mean, so the third person mode in this is cool. I mean, I think it's interesting. It's like kind of trying to do the Uncharted thing.
Yeah.
But it's more of a platformer. Your character has a double jump, and on his second jump, he does the twirl in air.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
certainly not going for realism. But then you switch to
Yeah.
first person, and something a little wonky happens. Like you do the jump, and then you do the double jump, and like there's a little bit of a stutter, and you can tell that it's
Yeah.
because in third person the guy is doing the tumble. I wish I just focus on making the first person as smooth as possible, because I
I
think
use
that's where this thing shines.
yeah, it comes to life. It's crazy. Just even the colors, and you can see a lot of the effects of that stray paintbrush effect that a lot of these titles have.
Yeah,
That years back, I remember when hair in games started just developing that kind of like a paintbrush strand kind of a look to it. That was like impressive.
this is great though. Like this feels like, even though it's on the short side, I think you can beat the whole thing in under an hour. It,
Not me.
well, and even when you do beat it, there's coins to find, there's treasure chests to find, secret items to find, and
Yeah.
I spent 20 minutes today, even after having already beaten the game. And what I love is that like it seems like it had been updated since the last time I played it, and I
Oh,
love
really?
that because he's almost everything in Dreams is a work in progress, and
Yeah.
so I went back today and I was like, well, not only does this look better than when I played it on the Pro, because the PlayStation 5 makes everything in Dreams look way better, but also I'm like, I really thought that there were some new treasure locations, and if I'm wrong, then I was just like, I discovered places I hadn't seen before the last time
Yeah.
I played it, and I just didn't want to stop. This one's like just addictive, man. Like if this was a full fledged game, I'd buy it in a store.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would pay 7.99. I'd go. That's about as high as I'd go.
Well, the next one I want to talk about is something that I think if it was a launch title for PlayStation VR They easily could have charged $10 for it, and everyone would have been like, "Oh my god, this is crazy!" Especially if it was multiplayer. And that's Hypercycle Arena by Agent
Yeah.
Wombat UK.
Yeah.
You played this one, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This one was really fun. This was like our age, Tron. We grew up with Tron, and those. Well, I don't remember what they were called in Tron. Those cycles,
What?
those speeder cycle things.
Yeah, I mean the name of the game is Hypercycle. I want to say they were called Light Cycles, though. I could be wrong.
Maybe, I forget. It's been a while since I've seen Tron. I rewatched it before that Tron Legacy came out.
Tron didn't
But
resonate with me as a kid like it did for most of the world. I watched it once when I was a kid, never watched it again, didn't watch the new one, and I'm like, okay, I'm good. But this
yeah,
was so cool though. So many other games in the past have tried to kind of mimic this in different ways, whether it be simple things like Snake that you always had on like the mobile phones, where it's like
yeah,
you just can't run into your tail, that kind of
yeah,
thing. But
mhm,
actually going into first person on these
yeah,
bikes and having a trail coming up behind you, have teammates that aren't real and
yeah,
opponents that aren't real, and trying to cut them off so they like explode on impact when they hit your trail.
yep.
I mean, how immersive was this?
I forgot it was a Dreams game. Like I honestly did. There was no fuzzy. That's the one thing with a lot of these things is that they can be pretty short. So when they are really quick, you're like, you want more. But
Right,
sometimes there's just if it's a race, it's the one track or the reverse of that track. Or like with this, it was just pretty much that one arena.
right.
And it would be great if you could play against other people because it was a lot of fun just playing against the bots, and it handled so well,
Hmm.
and it was really fair. It wasn't like, oh, that was cheap. He should have been dead. No, it was better than a lot of other games that get released. It's tighter than Fallout 76 at launch.
I was holding, yeah, that's true. I was holding a dual shock and I found myself like leaning forward as if I was actually on this light cycle. Right. And I'm
Yeah.
like doing this and I keep looking over my shoulder, because I want to see if that path I just made, if the dude I tried to cut off collided into it. So I'm watching
Mm.
explosions happen as I turn my head. I mean,
Yeah.
this, like, seriously, if it had multiplayer, I think a ton of people would have bought this like
Oh,
as
yeah.
its own game at PSVR launch for sure. There is a multiplayer patch coming to Dreams sometime soon. We don't have a date for that, but
Wow.
right, I know. And so like if this guy, if Agent Wombat UK can go back in and patch his game and like update it and make it multiplayer, he'll have a winner on his hands though for sure if he makes it multiplayer. What else you got for us?
Um, all right. So Tectonic. Did you play
Uh,
Tectonic?
yeah, Tectonic is one of the first ones I ever played. It's by Sandora Bros and S. Doran.
So what I liked about this one is first you're just playing this racing game, and it was very nostalgic, kind of like Cruising USA in a sense, except there's no other cars.
Hmm.
You just kind of racing against your own time from a previous race, and then once you get around once, then all of a sudden it becomes really like an old, 90s arcade type of a game with an earthquake. And all these buildings start collapsing and stuff, and you're racing around, and plates of the earth are coming up like in Ghostbusters when, at the end. Anyways, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It changed everything, and it was such a nostalgic, made me really miss MotorStorm. And why don't they have more type of racing games like that at all anymore? But this game would definitely be amazing if it had other racers, like if you could play more against other people. It was just one of those ones that got me wanting more. But
Yeah.
it was great, very nostalgic.
Yeah, and I mean, and everything looks really crisp and clean on this.
Mm,
Giving us the first person mode just adds to the immersion. And
yeah,
as you said, man, it's like eventually, you're just going around the track at first, and then suddenly you're jumping from rooftop to rooftop to rooftop. And I mean, as far as dreams go, it's definitely one of the better ones.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Because there was some pretty poor racing games too in there, but it's like going to your kids' art exhibit at their school in second grade, and you're seeing all these other kids shit, and you're like, oh, this is garbage. All these other kids shit sucks. It's like, yeah, but you're not that mad because it's not, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Anyways,
no, absolutely, absolutely. And one of the other racing games, since it is funny that we have so few racing games on PlayStation VR proper, but you
Mhm.
jump into Dreams and it's like everyone's got a racing game. There's kart racers, there's fucking like realistic racers, there's I mean, there's everything.
There's those wooden like mini cart wooden ones you do, and don't play that one. That one was horrible. But yeah, there's even those.
Yeah, no, one of the other racing games that I loved is Roadstar by
Yeah,
Java.
yeah.
Like
There was two of them.
two of them, yeah, two Roadstars. And
Hmm.
the first one was like didn't have the time trials as like the second one did, but I really liked the tracks in the first one. You could there was two different ones. I was like Alpine and Monument Valley or something like that, and you could play either one of them. And the variety in these environments is just stupid.
And
Like
that was a long one, right? It was like a 5 minute race, two
it
laps, right?
seemed like it, yeah.
It's close to 5 minutes for two laps.
Right? You're going through caverns. You're like there's waterfalls like rushing over the road. I
Yeah,
mean,
with the water.
so
Second one, there was UFO around.
nice. I don't think I played the second one enough. The second one added time trials, which I'm like, oh man, I got to get to this and and experiment a little bit more to see what they added to the game.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, really impressive. Like you need to play Roadstar.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Titles are. If there must be people that must get picked up and get a job with a real developer from some of these dreams they throw up there. Some of them are crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you always hear about people who are like, who modified like Half Life or something, did a Half Life mod, and then they got a
Yeah.
job somewhere, and with
Oh,
Valve, right? And like, and now they're the level designer in the next Half Life game or something.
hmm
Yeah, hopefully all of these people, uh, if like game design is something they want to pursue, hopefully they all find success somewhere because these guys know what they're doing.
Oh, totally. I'm so impressed by all of them, even the bad ones. I was impressed with. Yeah.
Did you play The Missing Constellation by Joffreyman?
Some of it, I got a little bit frustrated with the mechanic of landing on the flower pedestals across the water, because you kind of had to like stop your jump before, because you could like hover, and then you'd have to like stop hovering at a certain point right before so that you'd land on the flowery thing. And I kept landing in the water and over and over and over, going to the second one. So I'm like, you know what? I'm done.
Well, I hope you go back to it with this knowledge, knowing that you never have to land on the flowers. You can just hover boom, right over them, and they will open up and recharge your floating ability.
Really, I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah. And
It's
so,
one thing a lot of these games lack is tutorials. That's
yeah,
a lot
that's
of
that's true. This one I found was magical though, and I'm actually glad they didn't tell us anything because, uh, because you start off and you're just this dude running around with like this keyboard
motorcycle helmet and a keyboard.
right strapped to your back. I'm like, this is I don't know, even know what's going on here. But the
Yeah,
landscape was beautiful, and I was like, this I just
mm,
want to run around and check this place out. And then
yeah,
there's all these kind of highlighted areas, and you go and you push square, and kind of a cutscene happens, and the dude plays the keyboard a little bit, and then the keyboard powers up. You can see like a
yeah,
certain number of keys light up, and you're like, oh, I'm more powerful than I was before. I wonder what I can do. And then you could already jump, but now you can hold R2 to hover and float, and and as you keep powering up, you can make your dude like almost fly like Space Harrier like, and you
okay,
just go from another, and all you're doing through this whole thing is just kind of appreciating the beauty of this of the creation itself, and just enjoying the journey from spot to spot to spot to spot. There's not really a game here, but
yeah,
I don't think it has to be. I don't know. I think anything else would have ruined it. I just really enjoy the experience as is. It's just
yeah.
it's stunning, and that Space Harrier like mechanic is, I don't know. There's just something like really awesome about that.
Well, that's something that's pretty neat about a lot of the dreams too, is that, and obviously people's talent levels are varying that make these
All over the
creations.
place. Yeah.
There's a lot of like walking sims or whatever there is. So there was like Wizard's Peak was one that was just gorgeous because you just walk around this teeny little environment and just you could see what they could bring out of the color palette for this
Mhm.
title, because it just seemed like you were walking through a forest where the foliage, just the colors, it was gorgeous. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff too. You can just go in and check out these people, just have a almost like a shadow box that you can go in and just explore, and that's it, and that's really neat too. that you can just go in and do this.
It would be amazing if, and I know there was talk about this as maybe more of a rumor than anything. It would be amazing if on the PlayStation Store there was a section for like people who wanted to sell their games that they made in Dreams,
Yeah, yeah, that
right?
would be pretty neat. Yeah,
And like so, some of the bigger ones could go for like $6 or $7, and some of the other would be anywhere between $3 and $5 kind of thing,
yeah,
kind of a sliding scale. But like but it would be great if you could export these things. What I'm trying to say is, what would be great if you could export these things out of Dreams, so you didn't actually
mm,
have to load into Dreams to play it, and then you could just literally download the app from the PlayStation Store and play it, and be like, look at these. Remember when PlayStation did the minis, like
yeah,
PlayStation Minis on
yeah, yeah,
PlayStation 3, and there was like their version of mobile
yeah.
games, and
Hmm.
each one was like $1 or $2 at most, maybe even $3. I don't remember. It would just be great if they kind of brought that concept back and was like, this isn't even indie. This is single people or
Yeah,
individual like little groups making things for fun in Dreams. Let's reward them with some money. Like let's allow them
right.
to sell their games.
I would get them to come back and like flesh it out further. Add more tracks.
Yeah.
Instigate them to like nurture these titles.
And it would
You
get
know,
more people to buy Dreams, because
yeah.
people would go, oh, this was made in Dreams. I can go and buy. I'm going to go buy Dreams for $40 and go make something like this.
Well, because you don't realize too much what it is. You're like, oh, it's a creation tool, or oh, it's I can play a bunch of mini shit games.
Right.
Like a lot of people don't realize, like me, that it's so much more to it than that. It's insane. Like I'm very curious to check out more of what this game has to offer and the creation side of it. Like it's got me very curious about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've gone through almost all the tutorials and I'm already lost. I'm already lost.
yeah,
I spent a whole day just going through tutorials, and I was like, I just need to keep plowing through this. And I think I plowed a little bit too far and a little bit
yeah,
too long. And I was like, and my brain shut down, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Right.
yeah.
But I definitely want to go back. I guess we should just put it to the audience, for all the cats out there watching. Do you want us to do more of these episodes where we, play a ton of Dreams creations, and then report back to you, and talk about them? Do you want us to just talk about the good ones? Do you want us to talk about the bad ones too?
Yeah.
I would feel awful if we were like ranking on
Yeah, yeah,
something. We're like, oh, this was so bad, it was garbage, and then somebody's watching, like, we don't want to do that,
yeah,
but I don't know, maybe we could be constructive about the ones that are not so good. Maybe we could
yeah.
rate them 1, 2, 3, and do our normal thing. But you guys let us know out there, if you want more of this, and if you want more of this, how you want us to bring it to you. So again, yeah, if you're a creator out there, or if you just love Dreams and you have recommendations, obviously leave them in the comments below. I've checked out a lot of stuff, but we're certainly interested in checking out anything awesome that you have you want us to check out.
Totally, because there's so many more I wanted to check. I even Googled some stuff where I Googled like the best VR dreams, and I didn't even get to them. I didn't even look into those titles. But that's what was neat about this game, is that even it makes you check, or at least for me, like when you think VR, you think I'm sick of experiences. I'm
Hmm,
so goddamn sick of it. This game, it's like I don't mind going in and having these mini experiences and seeing what other people did, because you can jump in there and be like, wow, this is pretty neat.
right.
Or jump in there and be like, oh my god, ugh. And it's like it's just entertaining. I don't know. There's something about this one that's just different than the other titles. It's
It,
very unique.
it is, because it's kind of like Netflix, right?
Yeah.
You jump in, it's like, because since there are so many titles available, you're not committed
Mm,
to anything. You didn't spend money on each individual one. You play one for
yeah.
5 minutes, it doesn't grab you, or 20 seconds, it doesn't grab you. You exit out, you find something new in like 2 seconds.
Hmm.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So, all right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging out and listening to us talk about Dreams, Dreams Creations, of course. Shout out to every single creator for all the games that we talked about today. This is gonna be one hell of an edit. I gotta go find footage for a ton of
Oh,
games.
no.
Um, so yeah, this will probably be a late episode, but but thank you so much for another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. That guy over there, that's Jeremy King,
That guy right there, that's Bryan Paul.
uh, and we love you all.